And yeah, it's a masterpiece. If you disagree with that, then you can leave. There are a lot of really good Star Wars games, and which one's the best one? This is something I've spent probably too much time thinking about. But I've played a lot of Star Wars games, and I love a lot of them, and I wanted to make a tier list of like which ones, where do they stack amongst each other, and which one's the best. So I pulled open this tier list, and I very quickly realized that there are a bajillion Star Wars games I haven't played. And so I want to run through this, but the first thing I need to do is just put all the ones I've never played into the never played category, which I'll just do right now. Okay, and we're back. And yeah, so I haven't played a majority of Star Wars games apparently. So a couple things. I never had a DS growing up, and I'm not that old. So some of these games are super old. I really didn't have a PC, so I didn't really play like these educational children's games. I would have though. But yeah, most of these are just older games I never played, or they're on the DS, with the exception of these Star Wars Clone Wars games. I don't know where I was, but I never played those. So this is what we have left over. It's not that big of a list anymore, but we'll just work with it. So, all right, we'll start from here. So X-Wing Alliance, this was okay. I played this on my stepdad's PC, and it was really confusing because it didn't have good instructions, and yeah, it took me forever to figure out how to like pick up the cargo at the beginning of the game. Like the first mission, you're just a transport ship, and so you pick up this container and you're just taking it to this space station, and then that's how you kind of get wrapped up into the story, and you get attacked by the Empire and all this other stuff. But it took me forever just to figure out how to pick up the thing, like literally forever, pressing every key on the keyboard because I just couldn't figure it out. So it was fun. I remember I got to a point where I couldn't play anymore because the game just kept crashing. So I maybe call it good, but I'm just gonna call it okay. Like I never even finished it just because the game kept crashing, but it was fun. So okay. Next we have Force Unleashed. Oof. Masterpiece? Great. People are gonna hate me if I put it under. I feel like people want to put it under masterpiece. I'm gonna put it under great. Don't you dare. And the reason for that is super fun. Personally, as a huge Star Wars fan, I think the Force Unleashed went a little crazy, and I guess maybe that's the appeal to it. It just got redonkulous, controlling starships and all this nonsense. But maybe, yeah, I don't know. I really like the Force Unleashed. I played a lot of it, but I don't think it's a masterpiece. I think it's a really good Star Wars game. Force Unleashed 2, for me, it's kind of in that same boat. Like I really, really, really liked it, but I think the ridiculousness and the epicness took it a little bit out of scope for me. And to be honest, I'm not that crazy about just fighter games. I really like the RPG element, which I think you'll see obviously illustrated here later. Oh, here we go. Original Battlefront. Is it a masterpiece? I don't think so. I think it's great. I think it's really good. Super fun. I got an Xbox just to play this game when I was a kid. I actually think I got it like a year or two after this game came out. Like I literally wanted an Xbox because of this game. But I'll jump ahead here. Battlefront 2 was a masterpiece. That thing is amazing.
I can't find one flaw.
And Battlefront, because Battlefront 2 was, at least to me, felt like such a big upgrade to Battlefront 1, I can't put Battlefront 1 under masterpiece. It's great game, super solid. Battlefront 2 is perfection. That game is amazing. Anyone that's played the OG Battlefront 2 has wasted hours playing that game. It's arguably, personal opinion here, still better than the current Battlefront 2 that we have, which is the actual next one up here. I'm going to put it under... I'll put it under great. It's a really fun game. It's just it feels very different to me than the OG Battlefront 2. And I think that's because they took out that conquest mode, and I love that mode. I played that mode for hours. Battlefront 2 is fine. The microtransactions at the beginning definitely hurt it. I know it got better. I know the game continued to improve, but I think I always had a sour taste in my mouth with just how the studio launched the game. It's beautiful. Like I feel terrible putting it under good. I'm gonna put it under great. It's a beautiful game. And then I'll put it under good. I mean, Battlefront, the re-release of Battlefront, it was just empty. I think, and they obviously learned lessons from that when they did Battlefront 2. So they added the story. Was that interesting? No, but you need to add it in there. You can't just not have the story, especially going back to OG Battlefront 2, when that story is so legendary. Like the voiceovers of Order 66 and the clone troopers, and like it's so good. Like that game is so good. I'll just be honest, like this is, if you wanted to call Battlefront 2, OG Battlefront 2, the greatest Star Wars game ever made, I would disagree with you probably, but I wouldn't complain. Yeah, but going back to this Battlefront, it was empty. And it just wasn't that interesting. It was fun because it was a revisit of Star Wars Battlefront, but it just wasn't the same. Like if this would have been Battlefront 2 with updated graphics and a new engine, woo, that would have been a winner. But it wasn't. It was something a little bit different. And overall, I think it was still a good thing, but I think it missed a little bit. Rogue Squadron was good. No, it was, yeah, it was good. I played this game a lot, and it was a ton of fun. I love playing the A-Wings. You know, it's in the same era as the X-Wing Alliance, but I didn't run into a bunch of bugs and crashes all the time. And if I remember correctly, the tutorial was a lot better. So I did enjoy that one a lot more. Nothing too much to be said about that one. It's pretty similar to X-Wing Alliance. I think I just ended up spending a lot more time playing Rogue Squadron. Empire at War's masterpiece. This is a game that needs to be remade or re-released or something. And I know Star Wars is working on a strategy game, and I hope it's like an Empire at War 2 or even something a little bit more broader than that, because there's a bunch of mods for Empire at War, but I'd love to play the Clone Wars or even before that. This was such a fun game. Again, I think the ground combat was the weakest. I was very, very disinterested in the ground combat in that game, but the space combat was so much fun. I love that game. I really want to play it again, just because we haven't had a Star Wars strategy game in forever. Like this was the last really good one. And yeah, it's a masterpiece. If you disagree with that, then you can leave. What's this one? Is this Fallen Order? Yeah, Fallen Order. Fallen Order is a great game. It's a great game. Is it a masterpiece though? No, I'm gonna call it a great game. And the reason I'm not gonna call it a masterpiece is subjective. I didn't dump a crap ton of hours into Jedi Fallen Order. I played it once, and it was a fairly short story, which when you complete a game, if the biggest critique you have is, I wish I had more. And it wasn't like too short. Like it wasn't like a crazy short game, but I wanted more just because it was a really good game. I was really interested in the story. That's a good game. but I didn't. There's no replayability for me. I didn't go back and play it more. I played it once. And that was it. Great game, but it's not a masterpiece. Masterpiece, I play a lot. That's kind of one of my criteria for masterpieces. How much do I play it? If it's a crap ton, go into masterpiece. So I think that's fair. Battlegrounds, dude, this is a good game. Arguably okay. It's very much Star Wars Age of Empires, which was awesome. So it was great. It was like a Star Wars skin for Age of Empires, and I loved it. I'm all about it. I played a lot of both of those games, and I played a lot of Star Wars Galactic Battlegrounds just because it's literally Age of Empires with Star Wars. Like, that's just hard to compete with. So love that game. I did play it a lot, but it's literally just a reskin. I'm gonna call it good, maybe like a good plus, like right in the middle. Not great, but pretty dang good. Oh, I made a mistake here. So fun fact, I actually never played the second one. I don't know why. I think I just skipped it. Yeah, I don't know. But the first one, masterpiece. Is it the first one? I don't know which one's the first one and which one's the second one. But whichever one's the first one was fantastic. I love that game. The graphics kind of sucked, but the gameplay and the RPG element, it was really fun. The fact that you could really create this character and be a Jedi in a way that you couldn't before. I don't know which one came out first, whether it was Knights of the Old Republic or Jedi Knight, but I feel like Knights of the Republic came out first. But Jedi Knight Academy was so much fun. And yeah, you were just a Jedi in a way you never were before. And I played so many different iterations of being a bad guy, being a good guy, doing all that stuff. Like, that was a great game that had a ton of replayability. That game's a masterpiece for sure. I would love to see a remake of this as well. And then my favorite, Knights, I might have just given away, but Knights of the Republic is just one of the best Star Wars games ever made, at the least. This was perfection.
And I gotta tell you, it was perfect. Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
And obviously I know that this game is going through development hell for the remake, which sucks because I love this game. I played this game so many times. I have memories of buying this game at the store because it was a platinum hit. I don't know if you remember this, but when a platinum hit, they used to sell in those silver cases. I still have it somewhere in here, but they came out in silver cases and they would release them at $20. So normally games are $50, $60. But if it came a platinum hit, they would drop that cost to $20 and re-release it. So they did that with Knights of the Republic, but me being a dumb little kid, I thought it was like a demo. I was at Walmart and I was like, I think the silver means it's not a full game. And I remember asking this guy next to me, it's like, is this a full game or is this the demo? And he didn't know. And so I just took a chance and I just whined to my mom until she got it, and she got it. I remember loading it in and playing it and being initially very disappointed because it wasn't like the Star Wars that I knew, episode 1, 2, 3. And remember being very upset about that. But then I just got obsessed. I love this game and it needs a proper remake with a lot of care and love. And it makes me sad that doesn't seem like it's getting that right now, but this is a phenomenal game. This game help to make BioWare what it is. BioWare is one of the greatest studios of its time, and sadly it's kind of gone downhill, but they started on this and a couple of other games. This was a foundation of their company. Just amazing. All right, and then we have Knights of the Old Republic 2, which is a great game. It's not a masterpiece. I love the game. I played a lot of it. It's definitely a darker tone than Knights of the Old Republic, which makes sense. It's Knights of the Republic, Sith Lords. Super fun. adds a couple of very interesting characters in, you know, Darcian and Hylas and Treya. Super interesting. I don't know why it didn't hit. Maybe if you have any ideas and you played the game, let me know what you guys think, because I played a lot of it, but it didn't hit me as much as Knights of the Republic. And I'm wondering if that is because it's just not Revan and Malik and Bastila, and it was maybe too much of a separation for my heart. But it was still a really fun game. I spent a lot of time doing it. It kind of introduces this concept of the Gray Jedi, which you can argue whether that's canon or not, but it definitely involves the middle, right? Like not Sith, not Jedi, but like where do we find the balance, right? So really fun game, really great game. Different studio. This wasn't BioWare, so they did a good job. And from my understanding, an incredibly short development cycle. Like they pumped this game out pretty damn quickly, and I think it was a great game. It was a great game. Rogue Squadron. I know a lot of people like this game. It's just good to me. I think some of that for me personally is I'm not that crazy about like flight simulators. It was just fun. I know it obviously looks a lot better, but it's okay. I don't really have much to say about it other than that. Moving on. Republic Commando, masterpiece. So good. First, actually, I think it's the only like first person shooter. Yeah. So this is a third person shooter. So yeah, Republic Commando was a ton of fun, and it introduces obviously the Republic Commandos and all the different personalities they have, because they're like basically, I call them faulty, but are they faulty? I don't remember. No, they were bred differently. No, they were bred to have independence, I think. I could be wrong. Again, let me know. I don't remember. But yeah, like that game was a ton of fun and needs a remake. Like anything in this masterpiece, obviously Battlefront 2 got its remake. But anything in the masterpiece needs a remake, and arguably pretty much everything in great. Which obviously these are remakes. This one got a sequel, same difference to me. And this one's not going to get a remake till Knights of the Old Republic. But like, yeah, anyway, I digress. Like, this one needs a remake, or a second one. Actually, don't even do a remake, just do a second one, because we want to know what happened with the story and not just read a stupid book, which is where they finalized the story for Republic Commando.
Fuck books.
Oh, no.
Books are for
No.
go hit the gym.
No.
I wish they would have. I wish they would have just made a second game, and I don't know why. Maybe it didn't make enough money. I'm not sure. But Republic Commando, if you guys have made a Republic Commando 2 or Empire Commando, Imperial Commando, that would sell. Like, people would buy that. I would love that game. I would love the sequel to that game. These arcade games, they were good. They were fun, infuriating. I don't know if you guys remember these. I played them at Walmart all the time. My mom was shopping, and they used to have the arcade in front of the Walmart. And I go to the arcade and play these Star Wars games. Really fun, super hard. Obviously, like, that's just arcade games. They just try and take your money. But super fun. If you remember, I feel like, let me know if you actually played these in the past, because I don't feel like a lot of people have, but I have good memories playing these games, especially specifically the Pod Racer one. Anyway, Jedi Starfighter was okay. I was indifferent about it. Again, I'm not crazy about the fight simulator stuff. In fact, I'm just going to do this. So X-Wing versus TIE Fighter is basically X-Wing Alliance to me. Starfighter, again, I played a lot of this one. So I'm gonna put it under good, but it's just fine. I'm not crazy about flight simulator games. I'll probably play them if they come out again, but meh. Jedi Survivor. Jedi Survivor is good game. I don't think it's great. I think it suffers from the same problem in that it doesn't have a lot of replayability for me. That might just be the type of games that I like to play. Fun. It kind of felt like just a Jedi Fallen Order with an extended storyline like that. I don't know. It didn't feel different enough for me to really love it. It was fun. It was good. The plot twist, I want to call it a plot twist at the end, was cool. I think, I don't know, the first villain, I think it's lame that he wasn't the villain as long as maybe we all expected. I don't know. I was not as invested into the story. And so Fallen Order, I was way more invested in the story, specifically like his relationship with his old master and those visions. And oh my gosh, the scene when they are when Cal's a kid, perfect. I never got as invested in Jedi Survivor. It was a good game. I don't think it was great. Feel free to disagree with me and let me know. I don't know what this is, so don't know what that is. Episode 3. This is a really good game. It's a really good game. I'm gonna put it up there. I love this game, and I think one of the reasons this game was so good is because it was an opportunity for the people that made episode 3 to kind of release concepts or scenes that they wanted to do in the movie that were, maybe George thought they were too graphic or something, or maybe he just wanted to cut it out. They added some of those into the episode 3, and they kind of in the game, they kind of played things out. I remember watching all of like the back scene stuff with Hayden being on set and motion capturing the moves and things. I really like this game. It was really fun. You could make a solid argument that it shouldn't be in the masterpiece category and it'll be in the great category. I probably wouldn't argue with you too much, but I love it. This is a personal experience to play. I love this game. So Tor, this. I want to put it into great, but because they did my boy Revan dirty, I'm going to put it into good. That feels mean. I'm going to put it into great. I think SWTOR is a fun game. I played a lot of, I never got into the expansions really. I played a lot of like the Sith Inquisitor and the Sith Warrior. MMOs aren't really my thing. And I think that's partly because I don't really have a lot of friends to play it with, which I've heard Asmongold talk about this, where it's like, if you play MMOs without friends, then what's the point? Like half the fun's with friends. And I totally agree. I just don't really have a lot of people that play MMOs. So I was always just kind of wandering by myself, and it was kind of boring. Of all the MMOs I've played, SWTOR kept my attention because of the story element, which was very similar to KotOR. And so it's a good game. It probably deserves to be in great. I'm a little bit, it just felt empty for me. And I do think they did Revan dirty. That kind of pissed me off. Last but not least, this one's kind of it's okay. I played this game a lot when I actually know what grade I was in. I was in 5th grade because this was like when I first got an Xbox. It was one of the first games I got on original Xbox. And I have memories of waking up at like 5:30 in the morning and just running downstairs, going to play in my stepdad's office where we kept my console. And I'd play as much as I can before my mom woke up and told me I had to get ready for school. So it was a fun game. It was a pretty fun game. It's really all that I had. I don't think my world of funness was really filled yet, but it was a good game. I almost have like PTSD of driving in one of the cruisers, just sliding everywhere and shooting things up. It was okay. It was fine. Yeah, it was fine. Okay, so here we have our list. To answer the question, which is the best of all time? I'm really biased. I'm just gonna be honest. It's gonna be, for me, it's Knights of the Old Republic. I think you can make a solid argument that maybe it's Battlefront 2. And I've heard some people say Republic Commando. I don't know. That just doesn't really make sense to me. But I think it's Knights of the Republic or Battlefront 2. So the case for each, dude, Knights of the Old Republic introduced Revan and Malik and a whole new Star Wars we'd never had before. This was 1,000 years before the events of Episode 1, and it was just perfectly executed and just such a fun game. Like, I want to play it. I have it on Switch, and I kind of play it when I go to the airport or that kind of thing. But this is the game that got me obsessed with Star Wars. So for me, that's why it's the GOAT. I love Star Wars before. I had lightsabers and I watched all the movies and everything. But when I played this game, it gave me a knowledge base where it gave me an avenue to dive into that had so much lore that I hadn't explored before, which was incredibly exciting. So yeah, I love this game. I love it. It's the greatest of all time for me. The fact that the remake is having so many issues is just so disappointing. But you can make a solid argument that Battlefront 2 is maybe the greatest. I think that I don't think that's a ridiculous opinion. I think Empire at War is the greatest is a ridiculous opinion. I think any of these games outside of Battlefront 2 and Knights of the Republic being the greatest is a ridiculous opinion. And you could disagree with me on that, and let me know, because I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. If you think, oh my gosh, if you thought like Fallen Order was the GOAT, I mean, I'd be fascinated to hear that argument, because it's not that it's a bad game. It's just it doesn't hold water to Knights of the Republic or Battlefront 2 or Empire at War. If you made me choose between another Jedi Survivor 3 or whatever, or a new Empire at War, I'd pick an Empire at War. I would pick it. If you were to compare any of these games with any of these, so I would take a new remake for Battlefront 2 with not trying to do something new, but just trying to do a true to form remake of Battlefront 2. I would take that over every other game here except Knights of the Republic. These are the ones, in terms of remakes, remasters, or sequels, these are the ones I value the most. I want to see a remake of Knights of the Republic. I want to see Battlefront 2 get a remake, or Battlefront 3 that's done with, it has a conquest mode. Gosh darn it. Like, that would be so good. And you could do so many because okay, so with the conquest mode for Battlefront 2, I don't know if you guys remember this, but you had, you controlled a fleet, and you would upgrade your fleet. You would upgrade, the level of each trooper type, and you'd upgrade a bunch of stuff. And imagine them doing a new one now, where now, if you want to do your microtransactions, do them cosmetically for the fleets. If you charge me $3 to look like the 501st, take my money. I'd pay you $3. Would I pay you $10? No, but I'd pay you $3. And you could just get really fun with the designs. Basically, a lot of the stuff that they did Battlefront 2, I think that's something that Battlefront 2 did really well, was all the different clone trooper skins were just a lot of fun. And they looked phenomenal. The models looked great. So if you can just do that with a conquest mode like they had in Battlefront 2, why aren't we doing that? I just don't know why. I would have devoted more time to the new Battlefront 2 if they would introduce a conquest mode. And honestly, just give me the conquest mode. I loved the kind of RPG element of having my own fleet and it having its own characteristics and all this other stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'm just reminiscing too much, but that's kind of my feeling on Battlefront 2. Knights of the Republic, man, I could make a whole nother video just talking about how much this needs a remake and all the characters within Knights of the Republic. I love Knights of the Old Republic. I know a lot of other people do too. It makes me really sad to know that this game at best is going to struggle being made. At best it's going to struggle being made. At worst it's just never going to be made. So yeah. Anyway, so this is my tier list of games. I think for me, Knights of the Republic is the GOAT, to be honest. I didn't even get close to convincing myself that any of these others deserve to be up there. But if you have a different opinion, let me know down in the comments, because I'm interested to hear your guys' thoughts. Obviously, all of us have different experiences with Star Wars games, but let me know which one do you guys think is the greatest of all time, and if you think that I'm just a lunatic for picking Knights of the Republic. And yeah, thanks guys. Bye. Hey guys, I just got done editing this video, and this is the first video I've ever done on YouTube, and the first video I've ever edited ever. And I'm super self-conscious about everything. Like, I think you all can imagine. I don't like the way my voice sounds. I don't know that this is edited perfectly, but I'd love to hear you guys' comments and feedback on how we can do things better. If the audio does need to be fixed, and how might it be fixed? If, I don't know, just give me your thoughts on what you guys would like to see, both in terms of just video production and content ideas. This was really fun. I loved making this video, and I'd love to make more. So let me know what you guys think.